You just getting warmed up, baby. Another episode of KY.
Good to be back.
Great to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got another episode of KYP, aka Know Your Personnel, coming to you. This is episode number 13, coming to you live. We are incredibly excited. My name is Nathan Hawthorne. This is my co-host, Jared McEnroy. Jared, what are we talking about today?
The NBA playoffs are in full bloom. We're out here. Round 2. We're going to talk a little bit about round 1, some of these upcoming matchups. Then we have a little fun NFL segment today. Not much in the news, so we're going to get a little creative and then wrap it up with a few gripes about the PGA Tour. And you have one NFL team in particular I heard you're going to go after today, so stay tuned and let's hear about that.
We will get there. Make sure you got to tune in. And ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing some great stuff to you. If you've listened this far in and you plan to keep listening, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. We would really appreciate your guys' support in continuing to grow this channel and bring you guys the greatest news in sports.
Give us a comment. Let us know. What do you like? What do you don't like? What you don't like?
Hey, give us just talk
interact.
To us. Talk to us.
Talk to us.
Let us know.
We take feedback. We're coachable.
I don't know about that. I'll hear the feedback and I will respect your right to provide the feedback, but I ain't gonna listen to you.
Unless all right, NBA playoffs.
NBA playoffs.
Okay, NBA playoffs. Round 2. First one I want to start off with, the Knicks and 76ers. Now, I was right about the Celtics. I don't want to sit here and be the I'm right guy. I don't want to be the I'm right guy, but man, the 76ers really just started to hit their stride. They look really good, and all of their stars are playing well. I think that's the key piece of it. And here's going to be what I predict to be their downfall in the Knicks series is their stars are playing well. They're also playing about 40 minutes a game, and they're running a 6-man rotation. That is not sustainable for the entirety of the playoffs. So and I think this Knicks series is going to be really good, mostly because the Knicks were kind of unimpressive, to be honest with you, but yeah, man, my goodness. When you're running Joel Embiid 40 minutes in a game, good luck. Good luck, especially when he's got to keep up with the Big Purr running out to 3-point land.
Who?
Big Purr?
Listen.
What do we think?
Jalen Brunson, Little Munchkin, lit at the function. I do not care. We got Sixers as 6, baby. I think for that reason right there, the Sixers are peaking at the right moment in terms of their players. I love the veteran presence that they have with Paul George and Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey starting to come into his own in the playoffs. And I think it just took some time for things to get figured out. I mean, we saw that throughout the course of the regular season. A superb team, which is why they are a 7 seed, but started to kind of kick some things on late. I love the emergence of VJ Edgecombe. Again, these rookies are playing so well in the playoffs right now. It's incredibly impressive. Typically, we've seen over maybe the last couple of drafts, these rookies come in and kind of end up being, bottom of the rotation players, but they're playing significant minutes. Anyways, VJ Edgecombs, love what he's got going on. And both teams played some pretty slug out series. Did the Knicks only go 6 games versus a 6 or 7? Yeah, totally. But both teams play tight rotations. I like what you're saying, but also the Knicks play a very tight rotation also. So both of these teams are going to be running. Both of these guys are going to be running their teams to the bone. They're going to be running their starters, their first 6, 7 guys to the bone in order to get this win. Again, I think the Sixers are just playing a better team brand of basketball. For the Knicks, you're kind of looking like, hey, kind of like who's going to be the guy tonight? And I just think because it could be Cat, like they just don't know who they're going to play through. It kind of is on a night-to-night basis, and I like it. Listen, I'm not hating on the Knicks.
You're hating on the Knicks,
Jalen
but
Brunson,
I'll tell you what,
Jalen
Brunson is like that.
The function. He's like that, no doubt. He's like that.
He'll put up 41 on you. We saw him in the run last year, so I don't know where this is coming from. They play through Jalen Brunson. They know their identity. They continuously do it, and They fell
Really?
flat in a series against a better team. The Pacers were really good last year, and I don't think we all really knew how good they were until they started to turn it up in the postseason. But don't tell me they don't have anyone to run through. They have their identity.
No,
They
I'm
have
not
their
saying
guy.
that they don't
Jalen
have
Brunson
anyone to
is
run
the
through.
guy.
I'm saying
You
that
said that
they
you don't know night in, night out who they're going to run through,
yeah, sometimes
but they know
run
who
through
they're going to
Cat,
run through.
sometimes they run through Jalen. But it's
Hey,
not
you read
very
the hot
clear.
hand,
It's
but
not very clear. Yeah, but it's not even riding the hot hand. Their offense just feels weird and clunky. And unless one of them is getting those one-on-one buckets, then their offense is kind of weird. It's kind of stagnant. Just my opinion.
yeah, no,
Sixers and
it's fine, and
six.
you're allowed to have
Sixers and
you're allowed
six.
to have your opinion. We
That is
might need
very
to
true.
throw some
This
side
is
chatter
an
on
opinion
this,
show.
but
This is an opinion show, and I'm willing to throw down on it.
all right. But I agree with the VJ Edgecombe thing, man. This guy is unbelievable. Just flying around the court, can shoot the three ball, plays hard defense, makes the hustle plays. Like, he's the definition of like the fountain of youth coming back to the 76ers and really being the guy to fly around. And Maxey, obviously, we know he's a superstar. You can't make your own nickname. Playoff P. He's here again, and every year we troll him. I'm not gonna let it go until he's out of the league. Playoff P, man, get him off the court. Knicks, and I think it's. I do think you're right though. I think it's going 6 or 7, but it's gonna be the Knicks.
Yeah, that's fair. And another series I think is probably going to go 6 or 7 is just that other Eastern Conference side, the Pistons and the Cavs.
But it's going to be a different
listen,
6 or 7.
It's going to be a different 6 or 7. I'll tell you what, though. The number 1 seed in the East is getting bounced. You know, actually, I'll say it's not going to 7 games. This might go 5 or 6. Listen, both of these teams are going to be exhausted. They both just played grueling series again, right? That's the kind of the theme of the Eastern Conference right now. Just grueling series. But the Pistons can't score unless it's in transition or they have a great look early in the shot clock. If you make these guys sit down and play high-quality offense, unless it's Cade Cunningham getting a bucket, they're just not getting it. And for that reason, it's not like I think, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are putting on these, extraordinary scoring performances. But if you had to ask me to pick some guys who are going to be able to get buckets when it matters and kind of get their own, I'm probably going to go with those guys. Just my opinion. And I don't have a lot to say on either of these teams, but that's just where I'm leaning.
Yeah. Again, we're at a disagreement here.
Wow.
I think the Pistons, and now I'm not going to sit here and pretend like what they did against the Magic was super impressive.
It was not impressive.
They started to get
all.
back. They started to get back to what they were doing in the regular season. They were playing really hard defense. They were shooting the ball well. The spacing, yeah, the flow of the offense is what's out of sync. It's not smooth at all. They don't really know what they're doing in terms of a half-court offense. But, man, the Cavs I think the Cavs just pushed me so far in the opposite direction. They looked terrible. And yes, the Pistons looked bad too, but they looked terrible. And I don't think they have the horses to win the race, to be honest with you. I don't know. Harden looks old. Donovan Mitchell's obviously great, but some of the people that got playing big minutes, man, Strauss went and got himself a contract, and he hasn't been anything since, hardly.
Fact.
Dean Wade, he's playing big minutes for you down the stretch,
that's D.
and
Wade
not
right
D
there.
Wade, not D Wade, but Dean Wade. Come on, man. I don't know. We'll see. But that's gonna be a series I'm probably not gonna watch, if I'm being honest with you. If it's on, and there's nothing else going on, maybe. But I look at the other 3 series, and I'm like, this is by far the weakest one.
Worst series, hands down.
It really makes me, whoever does win the Knicks 76ers series, probably is going to the finals. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, yeah, I'd agree with that. And this shouldn't be a hot take. And if you disagree with this, I think there's something messed up in your brain. The winner of the Western Conference Finals is the NBA champion. Period. Now, do you have
disagreeing with you again,
do you
man?
have to go and play another series? Yeah, you do. But the Western Conference Finals is basically the NBA Finals. I would say every team right now in the Western Conference Finals is more complete right now, barring injuries, right? If everybody was fully healthy, that's not necessarily the case. If people were healthy, I just think that they're more complete teams. Arguably Minnesota, yeah, probably the weakest of that, but my goodness. The Spurs, the Thunder, the Lakers, I would take any of those teams over the Knicks or the Sixers, who we just said is likely going to be the one who advances to the NBA Finals. You're crazy if you don't think the Western Conference Finals is basically the NBA Finals this year. It's just how it is. Tell me
I agree.
I'm wrong.
I agree. I look at the Thunder Lakers series, and I feel like this will be it'll tell us whether the Thunder are for real and they're back or not. I mean, they've been good all year, obviously. But just in terms of like, obviously they're battling injuries. Even the people who are back from injury, they're playing banged up. They're clearly looking a little bit slower. Now, they didn't really have to show us much in the last series against Phoenix, but that's why if they show up against this Lakers team and they win in 5, then we know that they're for real and they're back. If they don't, then I'm going to lean Spurs, man. And maybe, again, it's because I watched every single one of their games so far. The Spurs have me convinced. Dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
OKC does need to wrap this up quickly. Go ahead.
Well, that leads me to my question. Do you think the Lakers have a snowball's chance at winning this series?
They need to win one of these first 2 games. Does that sound obvious? Yeah. But you have to get to a situation where Luka can at least be a threat when he comes back. He's obviously not going to be able to play defense with that limited hamstring. It's not like he plays defense anyways. But you have to get to a position where, hey, Luka, can you just score 35 for us tonight? That's what you need. Because right now, LeBron, I love that he's averaging 23, 8, and whatever. I love that Austin Reeves is coming back. But you're not going to get the same performances, I don't think, from against a caliber of team like the Thunder, from Luke Kennard, from Marcus Smart. Some of those role players that have stepped up huge in that first series, you're walking into an entirely different team. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. This team is tall, they're long, they're physical, and they just keep like these are football players playing basketball on this team outside of Shea and Chet. Like these guys are physical. Lou Dort coming off the bench, Jay Will running after you all game. They're a tough team to beat because they can beat you in the half-court offense, but they can also run out in transition. It's just going to be really hard for the Lakers, and like I said, if they want to have a chance, they have to keep the tempo of this game down. You can't start scoring 120+. You're going to win these games probably in the 90s, low 100s. And maybe LeBron can help control the pace of the game in that way, but yeah, I'm not convinced. Oklahoma City, just don't let this thing drag out. Wrap it up quickly. Put a bow on it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually exactly what I was going to say. Is I feel like if they are the 90s, low hundreds, that's where I think the Lakers have their advantage because that means that they controlled the pace of the game. And then I really think Oklahoma City will have a tough time with that. But I think if these are higher scoring games and they're getting to 115, 120, 125, I would think that Oklahoma City is handling them. So, yeah, and I mean, Rui's playing okay also. They got guys on the Lakers side of the ball that they're playing decent, but decent isn't good enough against a team that won 60-something games.
And the biggest thing is who's going to defend Shea?
Yeah, Marcus Smart?
Yeah, I mean, maybe 8 years ago, you would have been like, okay, that's a serious thing, but I don't.
No, like I'm right there with you. I don't know who's going to do it. We're coming back to. It's coming down to cardio, man. Who's going to be running up and down the floor? Which brings me to the next series, the Spurs in Minnesota. The cardio team, the Spurs. They got guys who can body. They're going to have a guy on Shea the entire series. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and say they are going to 1,000% sweep Minnesota, but like it's tough. Ant's out. They
lost
good,
DiVincenzo.
But Denver, yes, exactly. They lost DiVincenzo. Denver was not the same Denver team we've seen over the years. It looks like the end of it. Like it looks like, and they've already started leaking stories about Aaron Gordon probably being on the trading block, kind of reshaping the team a little bit. I don't know. I think it's over for Minnesota. The second the heart of your team goes down, you kind of lose that gas, you lose the juice to go and get the job done, and you kind of lose what you're playing for. Now, with that being said, the people they still have standing are going to give them the best series they possibly can, but Dylan Harper, Steph Castle, they got shooting all over the court, man. Champagny was shooting the crap out of it. Devin Vassell.
Champagny, where did he come from?
He actually, yeah, good story. He got waived by, I saw this, he got waived by the 76ers so they could make a roster spot for Mac McClung so he could represent them at the dunk competition. And then the rest is history.
Wow.
Now he's getting playoff buckets. So
good for him. Good for him. You know what? I'm really sad that we're missing out on, I think, would have been one of the greatest matchups in the NBA playoffs. And we'll see it maybe in the next couple of years. Not necessarily the teams, although the teams I love. Anthony Edwards and Steph Castle. I think those two going at it would have been cinema. That would have been insane. And I know Ant Edwards is kind of day-to-day, but we're not getting the same Ant Edwards if he comes back healthy. You can call it healthy, but he's not going to be fully healthy. And after watching the Spurs for, 5 games, it ain't looking good for Minnesota, and we can leave that.
You're missing out on a storyline. We got the two French centers going at each other. You know, I don't know if you've seen these clips recently of Rudy Gobert playing one-on-one with a 15-year-old Victor Wembanyama, but oh my God, this dude's been big forever. Like, I don't think he hasn't been above 7 feet tall since he was like 6th grade, maybe. Like, it's absurd.
For oxygen up there. That's insane.
He's gonna go at Gobert this series, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
Is he gonna have the size, the physicality to? This is Depoy Rudy Gobert. You know what?
Chill.
Hot take coming right here. Rudy Gobert just has an average series. No hot take coming. No hot take coming.
You were about to say he averages like what? 9 and 9.
I figured whatever viewers have made it this far, I want to keep you guys. So we're not going to throw out that take.
All right, so let's put our predictions out there. Who do we think's winning each series really quick? So you said 76ers. Are you thinking Spurs, I'm assuming?
Yep, thinking Spurs. 76ers, Spurs, Oklahoma City, and then I've got the Believeland Cavaliers.
Okay. It's going to be Knicks, Spurs, and I'm not telling you who I think it is. I'm telling you what it is. It's going to be Knicks, Spurs, Pistons, Thunder. And then from there, dude, the Knicks are going to the finals this year. Bookmark it.
Okay, they can
the
drag
Knicks are
themselves
going
into
to
the final with their 4-man rotation.
I think, yeah. Regardless, the Thunder Spurs is going to be the best series. I agree with you. I want to believe in the Lakers. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big, LeBron fan at heart. We all are watching him. We all hated him when he was in Miami for a while.
I hate him with the Lakers.
No, come on now.
You know why I started hating him? You know why I started hating him? You know why I started hating him with the Lakers?
What?
It was that series in the bubble against the Blazers.
And
when you watch him play against
that was on us.
It's not like watching Steph Curry go nuts and you're like, what did it? He complains and he whines and he thinks he's the guy.
The poke in the eye.
Like, yeah, it's our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. I can't do it.
The poke in the eye when he's down and he's like, yeah, that was a tough moment, but
and get him out.
All right. We got some NFL stuff. Do you want to start with the team?
Yeah.
Who's the team that you're grilling this week?
Detroit Lions. What are you guys doing? You guys are trending. The Detroit Lions are trending back towards old territory. We're talking Jim Caldwell days. We're talking Jim Schwartz days. You guys are going backwards. Did you have a few injuries last year? Yeah. But what are you doing thinking that you don't need your NFL rookie minicamp? That's absolutely absurd to me. This is your opportunity not to just evaluate your draft picks and look at your undrafted free agents, but this is a time to get guys in the building. This is time to get them familiar with the building, familiar with the coaches, forgetting or familiar with how you run meetings, looking at the playbook. What is your practice rhythm? What are the small things that you're doing for treatment will look like? Why would you not use that as an opportunity? 31 teams did it, and you decided this year you weren't going to. And this is Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell sitting there saying, we're going to look at everything top to bottom. We're going to figure some things out and really try and put ourselves in the best position. And this was your decision. That's what came out of this conversation of the true deep dive was, let's avoid our rookies in the building. Let's not do that before the year officially starts. I don't get that. I don't understand why you would not take that opportunity. And again, learn just about the rhythm of being a Detroit Lion, familiarity with the coaches, the playbook. You're just missing out on so many things. Now they're going to have to show up to the rest of OTAs with everybody else and not have any of that kind of experience. You know how important routines are? Just getting even a little bit of a taste of it. That's why PGA Tour players play practice rounds. That's why NBA players go have shoot-arounds at opposing teams. Like, take advantage of these little things. You get so few practices in the NFL now because of all these different rules. I don't understand why you are the only team out of 32 teams that would decide not to. You had a regressive year last year. Did you throw for a lot of yards? Yeah. Were you injured on both sides of the ball? Yeah. But things didn't look like they should have in Detroit. They needed to look better. And I get you had coaching turnover. But the direction you're deciding to go when you have the conversation of, let's look at all these things top to bottom and make a decision here about where we want to go forward. And your decision is to not use practice days? Blows my mind.
He's up in arms, folks. He's up in arms. It is a tough look. It is very weird because Dan Campbell is the guy that... Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that preaches, rah, rah, we're going to get the team going. We're going to play as a team. We're going to work harder than everybody we're playing against. It seems odd, and it seems like perhaps it wasn't a just him decision. Here's where I'll kind of fight back. We grill these guys when they get injured. We get mad at them because they can't play on our fantasy team. They aren't in the game, and that kind of ruins the game if your stars aren't playing. All of these different little things, we got to give them a break on the off-season stuff. We got to give them a break on some of the stuff, man. This is a lot to put your body through. So if you're taking a little bit of the load off...
They haven't played since January.
Hang on. If you're taking a little bit of the load off to rest the body a little bit.
This is rookies. This is for the rookies. The guys that haven't played actually probably since December.
They still played in college, but I get you. No, I mean, totally, it makes sense. But I'm an advocate of the second bye week where everybody in the league takes a weekend off to heal up. I'm the guy that's going to say, yeah, we don't like to watch injured football teams.
I agree.
So
I think it's
the little things.
I think a second bye week's important. I feel bad for the teams that have that early bye week or that mid bye week, like that week 7, 8. That sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 2 bye weeks makes sense. Yeah, again, cut a preseason game, add a bye week in there. And I get that, the NFL owners will never do that because it's money walking out the door, blah, blah, blah. Sell a couple more jerseys.
Yeah.
All right? Sell a couple more jerseys.
Even if it's just make sure everybody has their bye week before week 10, and then what would be like week 14, everybody gets the week off. Or week 13 maybe, if you want it a little sooner. Just another week to, again, get everybody healthy, get everybody back into the swing of things. And no one wants to watch injured football. We certainly don't want to watch teams with no quarterback. Like these are situations where even just like a concussion can take someone out for a longer period of time than you would like. So anything we can do to get these people, and maybe that's less contact at practices, things like that. Now, I know you're going to hate that one. You're going to hate that one more than anything. You think these guys should be hitting, wrapping up, tackling, going full speed every day they can, but
so does Dan
just
Campbell.
Something.
So does Dan Campbell. So this is
that's why it's out of character.
Me. This is what shocks me. No, I'm all for the player rest and keeping these guys healthy in any which way, shape, and form. There is something to be said about getting your shoulders popped a few times just to get ready, build up a little bit of that scar tissue, but goodness gracious. Okay, let's talk about all this effort and energy has been focused on the NFL draft recently and all these guys who are up next from this coming class. Let's look at last year's draft and who has some potential to be the up and comer, the breakout star in year 2 in the NFL. Hit me with who you got.
I think there's a couple that are like the obvious ones that I don't want to use. The Luther Burdens, the Emeka Ibukas, where like these are guys, and maybe Ibuka is one because we saw him play well for only pretty much half the season, but
injury.
A name you might have. We haven't cross-referenced these lists, so Jaden Higgins from the Texans is a name that I'm like, this is a guy that you got him too, don't you? Yeah,
he's on the list.
Listen, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. We've talked about how banged up their wide receiver room is year in and year out. Nico and Tank both dealing with injuries all the time. The ball's got to go somewhere. Somebody's got to catch it. And he looked good. He showed flashes of, honestly, just good route running, a mature route running. He's made a lot of improvements, and he's not just like the big guy who's just going to run down the field. So that's a name that I think we're going to look out for. And now, granted, of course, we want to see Nico and Tank Dell come back and have a full season finally of injury-free football. But we talked about they got another lineman that's going to buy another half a second for CJ Stroud in the pocket. They're going to get some relief with the run game now, finally getting David Montgomery. I like it. I like him in year 2.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
Yeah, I like him here in year 2. I don't have any notes to add on that. I think a big player or a big thing about Jaden Higgins is the reliability that he's going to need to have with CJ Stroud this year. Again, because that wide receiver room was so injured last year, there is a real and they didn't draft a wide receiver, I think, until round 6 or 7. 6, 7. I hate that I did that. I'm so sorry.
That's getting cut.
So again, the expectation is, hey, you are going to be our wide receiver 3 this year, or 2, depending on the health of Tank Dell, and I hope he's healthy. But yeah, he's going to have more opportunities than most this year, I think, to really excel. Kind of another guy in that same vein, and kind of looks like wide receivers here, and maybe we're just thinking a little bit of fantasy football, but a guy I love and I really hope takes a big bounce this year, and I think has the potential to do it with Mike McDaniel as his offensive coordinator, Trey Harris. Trey Harris, I think, has a chance. He's the big body backside wide receiver, 6'2", 205. He has the potential to kind of be like an Allen Robinson or Michael Pittman type junior. He's not the massive separator. He's not creating tons of space like your Ladd McConkey who's on your team. He's not necessarily the biggest burner to take the top off like Quentin Johnson. He's kind of somewhere in between the two. And I think if with a healthy offensive line, Omarion Hampton, who I think also has the opportunity to have a great year 2, if those things start to click, I think Trey Harris is going to have the opportunity to make some big time catches and honestly have 800 to 1,000 yards this year. I think that's very much in the cards. Yeah, I'm thinking 800 to 1,000, 5-6 touchdowns. That would be an excellent year for him because you can't rely on Ladd McConkey to be your number 1, and I just think that he's going to be set up so much better with Mike McDaniel. I mean, people forget like Ayuk and Godwin didn't necessarily have stellar rookie years. Were they better than Trey Harris's? Yeah, absolutely. But they also didn't have the obstacles he did. I'm doing a lot of hoop jumping for Trey Harris, but I got faith in you, dog. I got faith.
I don't disagree with you. Again, this is going to be a different side of the somebody's got to catch the football argument, and that is in the Texans' case, they're going to throw the football. In the Chargers' case, it's track team. It's Mike McDaniel runs the football. I have watched him personally myself. So unless he's really good at catching screen passes, I don't know. Here's the thing I'll say. Did you just call Quinn Johnson a burner? Is that what you used to describe him as?
Dude ran like a 4.3.
Okay.
Dude is fast.
And then we said can't separate like your Ladd McConkeys. Bro, you're talking about this receiving room like they're insane. These are bots running out there.
I'm comparing literally one trait about each one of these players and saying what Trey Harris is not.
I hear you. But I'll tell you what Trey Harris is.
Can separate. Quentin Johnston runs in a straight line better than anybody I know.
Mm-hmm.
You ask him to do anything more than that, I don't know.
Without the pads on, if he's in that combine gear, I'm sure he's running quick. Regardless, I think you're right. That's another guy that I'm like, okay, I could see how if somebody's going to step up and give Justin Herbert some go-to hands, it's going to be him. I don't know who else in the room it's going to be, and maybe it's going to be none of them. But if we're talking potential year 2 breakout, he's got a lot of potential, so I don't hate the pick. My next one, I'm going quarterback here. We've seen that new coaches and quarterbacks take some time to jive. Usually a year at least. You want to get a lot of people in the building. So maybe it's not year 2 that this happens. Maybe it's 1 year of growing pains. But it's Jackson Dart. I love I've liked him as a prospect since he came out of Ole Miss. He's got a gun. He's starting to get weapons filled in around him. I think another draft of getting more weapons for him is going to be even better. You know, they went and got Isaiah Likely. Like they're doing stuff to make his life a little bit easier. I fear the growing pains of the first year head coach and them not 100% having an identity quite yet, or at least a unified identity, will probably stunt it being a year 2 breakout, but it could be. And I think this team's going to be more competitive than people are giving them credit for this year. We talked about it, probably like a 4 or 5, maybe 6 win season, but like of their losses, they're going to be giving some people a tough time. They're going to be a physical football team. On the defensive side, obviously, they're great, but this is where he's going to have to take a big step into a game manager of really controlling the offense, getting everybody organized and on board, and really learning how to pick apart a defense. So, and no one better to teach him than John Harbaugh.
Yeah, unfortunately, John Harbaugh happens to be more of a special teams guy and a walk-around guy, right? He's had great defensive coordinators and some so-so offensive coordinators with the legendary quarterback in Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. Are you aware of who the offensive coordinator is for the Giants?
You're going to tell me, and I'm going to guess it's probably Matt Nagy.
It's Matt Nagy. And you think Jackson Dart has a chance? Are you out of your mind? Come on,
man. No, he's got a chance.
Come on. Everything that you have said has been picture perfect, right? And I love John Harbaugh culture building. But you are going to Matt Nagy offense building. And it just hasn't been good. It wasn't good in Chicago. It wasn't good when he came back to Kansas City with all-time talent Patrick Mahomes. And it's just not going to be good with the Giants. I'm sorry. I hope
it wasn't good with Kansas City.
No, Patrick Mahomes was good with Kansas City. Let's be clear.
I must have.
Their offensive production went.
Can I pose a question to you?
Absolutely.
You're starting a football team tomorrow. You don't have a head coach, but you only got 2 options. You got Kevin Stefanski and you got Matt Nagy. Which one are you going with?
Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski at least knows what he wants to be. Matt Nagy is just, I'm not sure, knows exactly what's going on or how to play football.
No, he's not a head coach. I think we saw that. But I like him as a coordinator. I don't think he's a great coordinator. I think he's fine. But I also think you're not giving John Harbaugh nearly enough credit. I think that's absurd. That's an absurd take to say he's just a walk-around guy. But I digress.
How many blown AFC championships does he have with Lamar Jackson? I'm just saying.
They haven't had the team.
They
haven't had the team. Point blank period. They haven't had the team. They haven't. No. Absolutely
They were the best team in the NFL 3 years ago by a long shot, and they choked to the Chiefs, who ended up going on and winning it. They
were the best by far over the Kansas City Chiefs even.
Yes, they were the best team. Dog, they blew the doors off of everybody. Yeah. Again, I'm saying there's a reason things didn't work out in Baltimore.
Okay.
There's a reason. And he had to move on. Sometimes your time is up. We know that about Andy Reid.
He didn't win any rings.
Andy Reid
in Baltimore.
Dog, it's a what have you done for me lately league.
Here we go.
He had one of the best defenses in history that year with legendary Joe Flacco slinging the rock. I already gave John Harbaugh credit for having Joe Flacco. Okay, credit's already given. You got what you got.
Fine. You got any names for me? Who else?
Bringing that back to Jackson Dart. Oh my goodness. My next name is a corner, and he's going to be getting a lot of work. He's going to be busy because this team's not going to be very good. Will Johnson. Will Johnson from Michigan, drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. I think he's got extreme potential to be one of those lockdown level Pat Surtain, Sauce Gardner. Who am I missing right now on this list right now? My goodness, Derek Stingley. I'm missing another massive name at corner right now. My goodness.
I think you nailed the big one. Sauce Gardner.
Potential. He's got potential, I think, in year 2 to be really good. He missed, I think, 5 games last year. He had a little bit of a hip injury, a little bit of a knee injury, kind of wasn't fully healthy the entire time. But I think a back end of him and Budda Baker is going to be lethal for teams. Again, they're going to get a lot of work and a lot of action because I don't think they're going to be an excellent team. But if you're looking to a guy to be your number 1 corner on your team, Will Johnson, I think, has an opportunity to have several interceptions, several PBUs, and really just have teams thinking like, man, maybe we shouldn't throw that side of the football. I think Will Johnson's special. We knew it at Michigan. He fell in the draft because of the injuries, but man, I think he's got a shot to be really good.
Yeah, he was last year's Tremont McCoy, where he certainly was probably top 10 if there was no injury history. Nobody would have passed up on him, especially any team that needed a corner. He fell to the Cardinals. Kind of stinks because it's not a great team, but this is the perfect team to go prove that you can stay healthy, you are back to 100%, and make that next leap, and do it at the NFL level and learn how to play football. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think he's going to be solid, and I think he'll be solid for years to come. I just hope it's on a different team, because if I could pick one of the biggest dumpster fires in the NFL, it's the Arizona Cardinals. I cannot stand what they've done, and I've said this already, so I don't need to crap on them too much. But man,
can I throw out a couple names that I don't think are going to have year 2 breakouts, but it kind of looks like they're poised to?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think RJ Harvey from the Denver Broncos running back or Jakrowski Merritt are going to have massive year 2s. Jakrowski Merritt from the Commanders.
Right.
Stats to back this up, 0, because they looked great when they had their opportunities. I don't think I'm going to see a big year 2 jump. I think they're going to be 2 guys that are in the rotation, but I just don't see them being all of a sudden, oh my gosh, this guy has to be the new RB1 in our room. And that would make sense for Jakrowski Merritt. I just don't think we're going to see anything. We're not going to see anything better than what they did last year. I think that both of those guys have a ceiling, and that ceiling is going to show itself this year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. I slightly disagree on the RJ Harvey part. I think this will be the telling year. I think you're a year too early on counting him out. I think he's going to get a lot of carries. I think they're gonna treat him like a workhorse, even though that's kind of a tough way to be right after an injury. But
yeah,
we know Sean Payton. We know he doesn't care. If it's not going to be you, it's going to be who's next. So he's going to give you the opportunity as long as you work hard and you produce. So this is going to be a big prove it year for him. But I think it's going to be a prove it as in prove you can stay healthy and prove you can consistently be in the rotation one way or another. We know he has the talent, but the Denver Broncos in general, this is kind of a prove it year. Of like last year wasn't fraudulent. Like we are like that. We are that team, and they're going to bounce right back. So we'll see. But I don't hate that. I feel similarly to a few other players. Like I think Colson Loveland needs to prove it this year. I think that's another name where I'm like, he really started to show like, okay, I'm not just a blocker. I can catch. I can do other things. And he looked very versatile when it comes to being a weapon for Caleb Williams. Pause.
That's his name?
But yeah, there's a lot of weapons on that team, and somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to be the guy that's going to consistently be there and be open for him. I think it's more likely Luther Burden, but I think it's a big prove it year for Loveland to prove that he's the guy, especially if Cole Kmet comes back and gets back into some shape of what he was.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, hey, is tight end 1, Tyler Warren? Or is it Colson Loveland in this draft? And then there was another name in there who also has another opportunity, Harold Fannin Jr. Second year with the Browns, new offensive coordinator, hopefully a little bit of consistency in that quarterback room as far as who's throwing and things trending in the right direction. But Fannin was a guy who was up for tight end of the year. I can never remember the name of that award in college football. But his stats were through the roof. He's big, he's physical, he can block, he can catch like nobody's business. And again, staying in that kind of tight end frame, a guy who gets to prove it as a 3rd-round pick, I think a steal by the Browns a couple years ago. Harold Fannin can do it.
Yeah, certainly. Was last year was Elijah Arroyo's class, right? Out of
so.
Miami. Yeah, so. He kind of caught a bad break with the tight end from Seattle. Why am I blanking on his name? Who really balled out for them this year? Barner. Yep, exactly. Yeah. AJ Barner. So he kind of caught a bad break in that situation. Honestly, that was kind of what they drafted him to be. But yeah, it surprisingly was a little bit of a deeper tight end class last year. I was not very moved by many of the tight ends in this draft.
No,
so
if the tight ends last year were in this draft, we might have had like 4 first-round tight ends. The way teams were picking tight ends this year would have been crazy.
Yeah. All right, I got one for you.
Okay. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You ask me first.
I was just gonna ask you about Tyler Shuck. What do you think a year 2 looks like for Tyler?
It's another one where it's a prove it year, but I think it's also tough because you have a coach that's in a prove it year with Kellen Moore. So I think that he's going to be very much. They're not going to play scared. The issue is, it might appear as they're playing scared because I feel like they're going to be a lot more methodical in the sense that you have a fresh season. You're back to the drawing board. You're starting square one. How can we not let the season get out of hand early on in the schedule? Because I feel like then you get into the days of football where you kind of know the season's over. You kind of want to lose, and that's just not good for quarterback development. At all.
Yep.
So I think if they can grab a couple games early on, get some momentum, I think he can make a jump. But I don't think Kellen Moore's gonna sit there and just run the ball over and over and over again. I think he's gonna give him a shot to throw it, and he's gonna give him a shot to prove it. We know what he can do. He's got the ability. He can throw the deep ball pretty well. I think he's fairly inaccurate in the middle of the field, and honestly the short timing routes are not 100% dialed in yet, but I'm not moved by him if that's my fault.
I'm just thinking, year 2,
maybe
we talked about the weapons that the Saints picked up with Jordan Tyson,
Yeah. I don't hate it. Again, this might be another one where he has had that growing pains year. The only issue was he wasn't the guy for the full year. So it's like that kind of stunts your growth. Again, like we had talked about in the draft segment where you said they didn't draft a quarterback this year, and that kind of adds into growing his confidence. Maybe he makes that step, but
who knows?
Maybe year 3. Maybe he just becomes a career backup.
Not a bad place to be.
All right. Segment for you. We're going to do a King of the Hill. So what this is going to be, I'm going to give you 2 options. It's going to be kind of like a this or that. Who are you taking? But here's the prompt for you. It's going to be QB and coach combo. So You're starting a team right now, and you got to pick one of these 2, QB and coach combos. So whether the QB carries the conversation or the coach carries the conversation, you make that choice. Now I'm going to give you one early, and maybe they stick around for a bit, but you got to have both of them. So you can't take the coach and be like, I'm going to give myself a new quarterback.
Is this a random pairing of coaches and quarterback, or is this
No. These are real current NFL teams.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Your first options. Would you rather have Shanahan and Purdy or Darnold and McDonald?
Give me Shan and Purd.
Really?
Yeah.
You're starting your team today.
Yep.
You're okay.
Yep.
Right. Now, and this is King of the Hill, so you pick them. They're moving on.
Okay.
All right. So we got Shanahan and Purdy, or Bo Nix and Sean Payton, and this is moving forward, man. I'm not gonna say like 5 years. I'm not saying 4 or 3. I'm saying you got a team.
I like Shanahan and Purdy. I don't like the injury situation for Bo Nix. I feel like
that's fair.
The full story.
That's fair. Yeah, that picture of his leg was no bueno. That was tough.
I hope that was AI or somebody edited that, because that did not look good.
I hope, it's not good at all. Okay. So you're sticking with Shanahan and Purdy. Are you taking them, or are you taking T-Law and Liam Cohen?
Well, I want T-Law and Liam Cohen, baby.
Yeah, man.
If
Duval.
if I'm starting today, Liam Cohen, I like that. I like that a lot.
Dude, he sold me last year, man. And maybe I am riding the hype, but dude, they looked great. That's the best a Jaguars T-Law team has looked to date. So, okay, next one up. You were just bagging on them. You taking them or you taking Goff and Dan Campbell?
I'm taking them because I'm looking going forward. I think Liam Cohen is just a little bit sharper of a decision maker than Dan Campbell's going to be. And Goff, I know what Goff is, and I feel like T-Law still got more in him. You know, Goff had that second revival into his career after getting traded out. You know, I think T-Law's got more in him.
I think we gotta at least have some dialogue here about. I think we're really close to knowing what Trevor Lawrence is at this point, right?
Like, I don't think we are.
I think the potential is almost fully shown itself.
This guy got Urban Meyer. Yeah, exactly. And the potential is through the roof. At any moment, he can be the greatest quarterback.
Well, that's what I'm saying is there's no more potential. The potential's run out. He is who he is now.
I don't think he is who he is.
Okay, we don't need to go on a Trevor Lawrence tangent. Okay. We'll jot that one down. Yeah. Okay, so you got Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen. The next one up, Drake May, and the man who's been in the news for Abel. And yes, he's coming back, no suspensions.
That is a really tough one.
It's a tough one.
Because I like
these do get progressively harder, by the way.
Yeah, I like Vrabel. I like Vrabel and May. I think you get to the Super Bowl as a rookie, and I think you get to a Super Bowl as a first-time head coach taking over a dumpster fire. I don't care about what the playoff run looked like. That's really impressive. That's really impressive. His arm strength isn't great, but Trevor Lawrence's is kind of fake strong too. Yeah, I like Vrabel and May. Vrabel and May here.
All right, so they're the new king of the hill. We're gonna pop on over to the opposite side of the country, to the West Coast. You got Herbert and you got Harbaugh.
Herbert and
who
Harbaugh,
are you taking?
Baby. Herbert and Harbaugh.
Really? Over Vrabel and Drake May, who you just spoke so highly of. Okay.
Every day.
Okay, next up, we got Caleb and Ben Johnson.
Caleb and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That would have been a tough one.
That's high floor, high ceiling right there. High floor, high ceiling with those guys.
Yeah. I'm so glad I put them right after Harbaugh and Herbert because I needed someone to dethrone them.
I want to keep hearing Herbert.
Okay, now division rival, Love and Mike LaFleur.
Come on, get the Packers out of here. I don't even want
Matt
to
LaFleur.
Conversation.
Did I just call him Mike LaFleur?
I don't. They're both head coaches. It's fair now. Can't distinguish between the two. But yeah,
I know.
Johnson
but one's
Caleb Williams. Not even a question. Matt LaFleur loses too many games he shouldn't. Jordan Love is knick-knack injured and will either throw for 10 million yards or just throw 10 interceptions.
Yeah, all right. Now the last one, and I really tried to keep all the big names, the Mahomes Reed combos, tried to keep those out of it, but I'm going to give you one final one. Who's the king of the hill? Is it Caleb and Ben Johnson, or is it going to be Matt Stafford, old man Matt Stafford, and Sean McVay?
If this is going forward, I'm going Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Honestly, if you were to ask me outside of Andy Reid and Mahomes, they're probably number 1 and 2 as far as who I would want to go forward with as far as a head coach and quarterback pairing. Unlimited potential, I think, with Caleb Williams, finally getting some structure, some ability. Winning games while not playing very well, I think, is impressive as a quarterback in the NFL. They say wins are a quarterback stat. I don't know. I really like their ability and how they came on late in the year. And I just think that, again, the ceiling is just so high with those two.
I'll tell you what, when I built this list and I thought about it myself, that's who I had as my final king of the hill as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's the right answer. I think there's an argument to be made about a lot of them, but man, what they got going on in Chicago, this is like one of the best times I think they've had in a while. Ryan Poles has honestly been a really good GM. I think he's taken the team to the next level. Just roster-wise, it's the best they've looked. It's the best they've looked in terms of a direction, a commitment to a style of football. I
mean, even with those Eberflus teams, they weren't winning a lot of games. And this is a shout-out Ryan Poles. But their team was uber talented. Right, yeah. Like Ben Johnson.
Their defense has always been
right.
Talent.
Ben Johnson didn't walk into a team that had no talent anywhere. Like Ryan Poles was still getting guys in there, but it just shows you how important coaching is in the NFL. Yeah, give me Ben Johnson. Give me Caleb Williams.
All right, it's a wrap. That's it. That's the king of the hill.
I like that.
We got Caleb and Ben Johnson moving forward.
I'm going to have to put something together like that for you next week. Maybe a King of the Hill segment bi-weekly.
All right.
I'm liking that cadence.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk some golf real quick.
Yeah.
I got a gripe. Quick gripe. It's nothing crazy here. We don't have to go crazy. We have the Florida swing in golf, which we all know about. Mm-hmm. I believe it starts with... starts with the Cognizant? Or no, it starts with... starts with the Cognizant, then moves on to Arnold Palmer, the players, etc. The Cognizant doesn't move me. PGA National is not that great of a course. And if you're going to go and put Doral in the mix, you got to flip-flop those. Because that's when the season is almost at its peak. That's when the PGA season is... not peak. When it's peaking at the regaining momentum from the year prior. It's too good of a course. And this was a really boring weekend because... Again, we had another weird situation where somebody just came out and got hot. Cam Young was incredible. He is incredible. He's playing unbelievable golf. So that kind of made it boring. But when you're watching, when the tournament was competitive, Doral's a great course for the PGA, for the field. It's just a better tournament. That Florida swing, I feel like they're really falling flat. Innisbrook is okay, like it's not bad. The Arnold Palmer this year was not great. I mean, Rory didn't even want to play in it. He probably could have. He had the juice, but he withdrew just so he could. It's basically just the players now. We have to do something in the mix to kind of get it back to, the exciting Florida swing right after, you have the LA swing where you're over at, or the West Coast swing, rather. There's just little pockets of the PGA season because it's so long, because they play so many tournaments that are really exciting. You get a lock-in from. I just feel like the fatigue from Masters Week and from the RBC Heritage, which people kind of watch a little bit. Then you get the boring New Orleans tournament out of the way. Yeah. This one kind of felt like one of those. And I think we're gearing up, obviously, for the PGA Championship and some exciting golf ahead. But it just felt like a waste away weekend for that kind of course. Yeah,
and it's to no fault of the course that Cam Young was just on fire. You look at everybody else, like 13 under from Scotty Scheffler. I mean, when a guy's that hot, that's hot. And that happens so much on the PGA Tour because these guys are so good. If they get a day or they get a weekend where their drivers work and their putters work and everything's clicking, there's a reason that they're the best players in the world. And so that's one thing. Another thing, I saw a lot of people trashing the event, trying to kind of make it, left versus right, if you will. Just stop. The event wasn't
golf.
Great.
No one cares.
It was golf. It wasn't great, again, because somebody ran away with the event. But don't try and say the course was bad. Don't try and say the crowds were bad. Yeah, F1 Miami was going on at the same time. Just let it be.
Another point of why they need to move it. It deserves it.
I don't know how you schedule that over the top, but I think if you're Doral, you're probably, if you're the Cadillac Championship, you're just taking what you can get on the PGA Tour schedule. You can't just move other events and tournaments around because they play essentially the same cycle every year. So I'm sure that they'll be looking into something next year. And also, this field wasn't great. Outside of Cam Young and Scotty Scheffler, I mean, I know Ben Griffin's good, but he doesn't draw me to the TV. Sepp Straka's okay, not drawing me to the TV.
Ryder Cup player. Two Ryder Cup players.
And then you got Adam Scott, President's Cup player. Just there was nobody on the leaderboard that was exciting to watch. And again, Cam Young's just running away with it.
Yeah. And again, I think that'll play into, like, that's another time of year where people want to get in as many weekends as they can. So the fields are a lot stronger. So moving it up in the season would be a better idea for that reason too. But if you want to know the testament of a good golf course and a good tournament, like you just said, Scotty was at 13. Like, let's take Cam Young out of the equation. That's one guy we're taking off the field. That would have been the winning score. Like, Augusta National is around 11 under, 12 under. So, like, that shows it's playing tough. It's tough golf, but at the same time, they're scoring enough for it not to be, 1 over or 1 under, 2 under finish. Like, it's the perfect middle ground. These throwaway weekends where people are scoring 22, 23, 24 under to win tournaments, it's like enough of those, to be honest with you.
Many birdies. I don't have that many birdies in a year. What are you
I think the
talking about?
PGA they're still just trying to figure it out, man. I have a tough time complaining because I feel like everybody's got something to complain about with them. So it's like keeping everyone happy is never gonna happen. But like little things like this will shape up the year into a better season. Season-long race for the FedEx Cup.
And when it's a long season and you're out there and you're playing golf a lot, you're running through a lot of different polos and shirts. Why are polos so expensive? You go to get a quality golf polo, and maybe it's wrong of me looking for quality, and it's minimum $85. I mean, I never buy things full price. Let me be clear. I'm finding a way to get a discount. But I find it so ridiculous. And
It would be nice to have the option.
There's some great brands like a Walter Hagen. I think they're a Dick's Sporting Goods exclusive. Those are like the $19, $20 shirts, but the designs often aren't great. They're not fitted, so they're always coming untucked. And then throw that in the washer one time, all the color's gone. And again,
and the color's all jacked up.
Yeah, and I know if you want quality, you have to pay for it. But don't charge me $135 for a golf polo. What makes you think that your material is so good that it's $135? I will buy 30 of them if you make them $70. 85. Actually, no, I won't. Absolutely not. Make those things $35. What are we talking about?
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's just
future.
I can't do it.
Future sponsor of the KYP show. They're not our sponsor yet. Maybe one day. Go on over to Amazon. Check out Malreg Golf. They got polos. They're around $20 to $30. They're great quality. The prints, they got options. Tons of different colors. That's where you're going to want to go. Bookmark it. But I agree. These main brands, like Nike's getting out of hand even. I'm like, $90 for a polo is crazy. The pants are $100 to $140. You can't get a pair of shorts for less than $80. It's absolutely absurd. Shoes, don't get started on golf. Golf shoes, the standard now is like $150 to $250.
Minimum.
It's crazy.
And the game itself is already expensive. Just getting a tee time is expensive. Getting a set of clubs is expensive unless you're thrifting or getting secondhand. And it's
making it less accessible.
This is something that Jordan Rogers talks about. He's one of the great marketing geniuses out in the world, did some years at Nike, and he kind of talked about this. Golf is an aspirational sport. The whole culture around golf kind of is centered around money and wealth and flexing the logo, the niche logo of your country club, and pulling up as a 15 handicap with the newest bag possible and the newest putter and like it and all the gadgets, right? So like I get it, but there's still some public course grinders out there.
We could do without less than that.
Hey, come on.
Far less of that. Let's get
C-ball, hit
that
ball
out of the game.
C-ball, hit ball, go hit ball again. And again.
Yeah.
And again. Yeah. And again. And again. And then throw club in water. Anyways, That's all I got today.
Yeah, take us home.
Ladies, that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
It was a good one. It was a fun time. Hope you all enjoyed it as well. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your neighbor about it. Tell your best friend about it. If you don't got a best friend, tell your favorite acquaintance about it. This has been the Know Your Personnel podcast. Once again, my name is Nathan Hawthorne. This is my co-host, Jared McEnroy, and we will see you guys on the next one.